everyone, welcome back to the Tiger Den, and I just realized I didn't turn main on. I thought I had everything set up, but I missed something. Anyway, welcome back. I hope you guys are all doing well. I now have main on, so she should be able to talk with us. Today we are doing the final piece. I gotta turn off something so that way I can plug in my hot glue gun. The final piece of the anniversary piece, or final part of the anniversary piece, I should say, which is essentially adding on these flower petals to the piece. So these flower petals are the actual flower petals that were thrown on the aisleway as I walked down, and then they were all over the front, and it was just kind of scattered throughout. So they're important to me. These are, I don't know if these were exact ones or the ones on the floor, but they were the ones I used. I had so many flower petals it wasn't funny. So my goal with this is just to kind of spread them out and have it looking like a natural throw of flowers on this board here. Oh, I put 3 next to each other. That's this one here. Okay. So this is kind of how I want it to look when it's finished. I know these flower petals are huge in comparison to the rest of the piece. I do realize that. I get that. I didn't necessarily think 100% through making this piece life size. But I wanted to have something physical from my wedding on this piece. After I get these glued down, we will go on to the rat pig piece, and I'm probably going to have a lot more time after that. I may work on, I don't know what I'm going to work on. I have a lot of pieces I got to work on, but tomorrow is the show, so I'm going to work on the show pieces either downstairs or up here. I'm going to be taking some watercolor with me to the show, so that way I can paint as I sell, so people can see the art process in person. So hopefully that'll be pretty nice. And then I think that's about it, because I'm looking at this piece and I'm not seeing anything that needs adjusted. The organ pipes probably could use a touch of gold just to make them feel a little bit more goldy, but I wanted the gold focus and shine to be on these pieces. And then these petals will draw your eye down once you see the shine, or the petals and then the shine will drag your eye up depending on how you look. So I am thinking I am doing pretty good on that. As you can see, I have a ton of petals left over, so I may use these for other projects. I think 4 of each color is really good right now. It's a good kind of mixture of color placement. I think I'm kind of liking how this looks. I know there's a lot of red on this side and a lot of orange on this side, but I think that's pretty. That's as even as I can get it. I may get a call in the middle of this. My doctor's appointment for today, they forgot to schedule me for 6 months out, so I'm waiting on a call from them to schedule that 6 month. I don't know when it's going to happen, and I'm not going to wait around forever and not stream. So I'm going to go ahead and stream now. Other than that, I can't think of much to say or do. I've been working hard lately, just trying to get stuff done. I did do some anime Mother's Day cards that I do have to paint still, but they weren't exactly the best design in my opinion. I could only come up with 2 of them, so we'll see how they do. I think my generic Mother's Day cards will do much better, and these are so much flatter than I thought they would be. Oh, that is sticking down nicely. Perfect. Okay. Past that, I am going to be busy Saturday, busy Sunday, because Sunday's Mother's Day. Friday, I'm going to be busy with dropping off the oh my god, words. Why can't I think of words anymore? The paintings for the local art show. So I'll have that, and then I think that's about everything that's going on currently. Ooh, that white shows where the glue is very well. Oof. That's fine. It's fine. As it dries, it should kind of become more of a opaque color, which will bring that white back. I guess it doesn't matter what side I glue these on. It does kind of show both sides, or it does flip back and forth. But I am happy to finally be finishing up this piece. It has been a long time coming. I know we've been working on it since about January, and it's now May, so it's been about 5 months. But that's what you get with oil. It takes a while. It takes literally forever, and it can be hard to work with. I still haven't taken really any oil classes, which is a little disappointing. But I can't find many local oil artists to work with, unfortunately. Maybe I did discuss with a local art studio about coming in and running a workshop of watercolor, but unfortunately they already have a watercolor artist they work with, and they don't like working with other artists of the same medium. So I wasn't able to do our local one, but they did direct me to a art studio that's approximately 25 minutes away. So maybe I can get in with them. They did send me a message already about being interested. They just want to see my work and, see how I do, that type of stuff. So I will be taking my sketchbook along with some finished pieces as examples, just so I can teach some students some different things like lifting and all this other stuff. I have been considering, I think it was yesterday is when I started considering it, becoming an art teacher, because I think it would be fun, but then at the same time, I don't like working with my own kids. Or maybe I started thinking about it Saturday. I might have brought this up in Monday's stream. But I have been considering becoming an art teacher just so that way I can kind of teach kids and, see if I can't help them learn the process. And I think running a workshop is a good way to start that process and see what I think of it. Work with adults that, have a little bit more patience, and they can bring kids if they want. And I can teach all these things. I don't know if I'll be providing materials because I've never run a workshop before. That's something I got to work and ask the studio how that normally works. I have a feeling I will be providing materials, which means that they will have to charge for the class because I need to be able to buy the materials. Just to, make it as even as I can. And the one workshop that I have been to, well, I've been to two technically. I did a wine and sip. That one was like $50 a person, 36 or something like that. And then the one workshop I did locally, that was 35 a person, and we had to provide our own materials and be prepped before the class. My idea of what I'd be teaching, you wouldn't have to prep before the class, but I would need a lot of water cups, which is fine. I can teach them the 2 water cup method. These are staying a lot flatter than I thought. I may still crystal clear it or seal it one more time so that way these flowers can stay in place. And like I said, as this dries, these lines I'm hoping will disappear. Cross my fingers. Just because I don't like what the lines are looking like. But I mean, at the same time, how else am I going to glue down a bajillion flowers? I'm using hot glue to glue down the flower petals instead of like contact cement or something. Which hopefully will prove to be a good, valuable attempt at putting these down. Like I said, they're staying pretty flat. And I'm liking how this is looking. I do think this is a good way to bring in some of the actual wedding into this piece. The reason for this piece actually is because of these flower petals. They were everywhere in my house because the box that was hosing them got broken and then left upstairs. So there has been flower petals all over my upstairs for the longest time that I've just slowly been collecting some of and throwing away some of them because there's just too many. And I've been slowly collecting them, and then I looked at these flower petals back in January and was like, you know what? I could make a piece, and it inspired me for this piece of my wedding and then just cover the floor of the piece with these petals. So that's where this came along. Come on. I'm trying to put these petals in all different directions just to give it a little bit more life and vibrancy. That way they're not all facing one way and looking like teardrops or something. Now I might be able to, if I cut some of the petals, put a few more on the outer edges. I don't know, I might do that because that actually sounds like a good idea. Just to get a little bit more floral coverage, like I could put one here, I could put one here, maybe one right here. But that would require cutting the petals, which I'm not against. I have plenty of them. It's just a matter of do I actually do it. Like I could put one right here, but that would cover up the veil, and I don't want to cover up the veil quite yet. I am kind of bothered by the gray of the dress, but that was essentially the color that the dress was in the picture. I feel like it should have a more orangey tint to it, but I've already sealed that, and I don't want to have to sand forever and unseal it just to make it kind of have an orange tint to it. Ow, I burnt my finger. Hot glue is good for burning fingers. Like that. The reds are like the only ones that you don't see the glue lines. I can see it on a couple spaces, but the reds are the best for hiding these glue lines. Again, I'm hoping as they dry and become opaque, they'll not be as obvious, but I have a feeling they're going to stay obvious. Unfortunately, these petals are very thin. Now, these are silk petals, so they're not real roses, which is why they've lasted almost 5 years. So ideally, these silk petals will continue to last a long time before they degrade, so I can keep this piece for as long as I can possibly hope. Come on. Stop covering me, please. Oop. Petals are hard to pick up without causing a bit of issue. I think I am going to go ahead, just because this took so little time, and cut up some of the petals and try and get like some of these outer areas covered. So, like here, I might do an orange, like half an orange, maybe half a red here, an orange over here, maybe a red right there. I feel like I need more white. Maybe I'll put white right here and just kind of like a corner it. So I think I said 2 oranges. We're just going to take off 2 oranges. Pretty sure I only said 1 red and a white. Stack these back together. All of them. Stick them back in my little baggie here, just to try and keep them in order and not running all over my house. Then grab my scissors. For the white, I think I want that shape. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to glue it down and then trim it. I think that'll be a better idea. So we're just going to kind of put a little bit of hot glue right here, directly on the piece. And we're going to glue this petal down. I probably should add a line right here. That glue spot. And we're just going to trim the petal, so that way it's in line with the painting. Maybe, if my scissors will cut. I do not have very sharp scissors, so cutting fabric is not ideal with these. Those are not going to work. Do I have any fabric scissors? That is the question. Question we are all thinking. I think all my fabric scissors are currently downstairs, because I was working on a dress. I did not finish said dress, so I did not bring the scissors back up. I think those are my only scissors that I have up here. Oh, great, 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 great. I love that. Yeah, those are my only scissors that I have up here. Okay. Well, we're going to have to make this work somehow. I may have to leave the extra petals on until I bring other scissors up here. So I guess today is not the day of finishing the anniversary piece. I mean, it's basically finished. It's just... Maybe if I lift this up a little bit and get it deeper in the scissors. There we go. Haha, I win. Then I just need a little bit more glue for right here. Glue up here. Oops, it's running low again. I go through these glue sticks so quickly. Ah, I burnt myself. Ooh, I really burnt myself on that one. I touched the tip of the hot glue gun. It's okay. It'll be okay. Just trying to get some of these corners down here. All the way down so that way they stay nice and flat. I think that worked out pretty nicely. I just have to make sure I lift the piece, that way I can really get into it. So now we're going to put one over here. I think I'm going to put it this way this time. No, I don't want it to be the same. I want to put it this way. So we're going to go a little up here, down and around. And I probably will have to add more glue to that. We'll see. Oh, I forgot to do the edge. Oops. Lift that up slightly and just do the edge. is good. Then is this one high enough that I can get all the way deep? Nope. Okay. Lift that side up and then trim off edge piece. Hopefully with my frames, because I do plan on framing this, I will be able to, what I'm looking for, I'll be able to get a nice clean frame on it that isn't getting affected by this silk rose coming off the edge. Kind of lay it down here. That seems to have laid down nicely. Let me try, oops, I am still carrying that petal. Let me try and lay down this one a little bit. That glue is a little high, so I can't get that as round the edge. And then wanted an orange here. I think I don't have to trim off that much on this one. Let's put it like right here, and then I might be able to just lay that down with the glue. So let me just go ahead and, this backside. I'm gonna go ahead and glue this entire thing a little bit further on the edge, just that way I can lay it down around the corner. So that rounded very nicely. And I had the red one, which I think I was putting right here. I think that's plenty of feather or flower petals at that point. I am really quite happy with it. I am going to do one more coat of sealant on it, which is my opinion of what will be nice. I would open the window, but how cold is it out there? 50? It's 50 degrees outside, so I really don't want to do that. So for this one, I want it to face upward. Tiny string of hot glue off of it. Apparently does not want to come off. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Whatever. So right here, like that, and then I just pull it down that corner tip. That should be good. So this one I can also glue down all the way on the petal. A little bit extra on that tip. Flip it over very carefully. Kind of pull that tip down and around. Apparently I wanted to go under instead of around. That's fine. I think that looks really good like that. I really like it. I'm happy with how this came out. I don't know if I'll ever work with oil again, just because oil is such a pain. I probably will. Let's be honest. I probably will, because I like working with different mediums, and I dropped my entire outlet. Okay, there we go. Now I got the light on back from the sun lamp. I am really happy with how it came out. I don't know if I'm ever going to work with oil because, you know, I'm stubborn and I like working with things that are a pain in the butt. But at the same time, oil is kind of an extreme version of pain in the butt. I do still have all the Gamsol and stuff like that. That is still pretty full, barely used. So I am probably going to work with oils again fairly soon. Just got to decide on what pieces deserve oil. I have so much freaking glue on my fingers, guys. So much glue. I'm going to put this up here near my tablet. And then let's go ahead and give a spray down on this. I'm not going to do this up here. I'm going to do this on my floor. Away from things, hopefully. And like I said, we're only going to do one layer because the paint is already sealed. This is just to kind of hopefully keep the petals from coming up. Which I don't think they will with how much hot glue I use, but just to be safe, I'm sealing it. Now that it's sealed, we are going to go ahead. Oh, I didn't do the edges. I will have to do the edges later. Maybe I won't because I'm putting a frame on it. I like to do faux frames on all my pieces. And that one isn't fully faux framed because of the fact that I had to use an old canvas for it. It's got a faux frame, but it's not completely clean cleaned up from the previous piece and versus this piece. So now we're going to work on the rat pig piece. The piece I am dreading. Not really dreading. I just hope it'll look good in the end and people will want it for the rat pig convention that I will be going to. Need some more coffee because my throat's starting to go. Now I have a couple different things I can do with the rat pigs. I have Stuart Stemple's Pink is Pink, which is like pink. It's when he says pink, he's not joking. It is like neon pink. That I can do on like the ears and stuff, and then the speckles. Or the other option is to use my muted pink that I picked up. So let me show you guys these pinks. So this one's going to be for the main body, and this one I was thinking for the spots, because the spots are a little bit more muted. However, I really want to work with this Pink is Pink, which if I show you guys, like, it's a drastic difference between the two, but I really want to use some of this Pink is Pink in this piece. I could do some flowers with pink down here, but most of them were white and yellow. I just don't know what to do. There's the yellow. There's the white. And I also have all these acrylic mediums that I can work with. So I've got a matte one, a glossy one, which I don't think I'm going to work with gloss because this is pretty matte, and an iridescent one. So I can make that Pink is Pink iridescent and shiny. I don't know if I want to work with this one because I just want the flowers and the light to be shiny in this case. And I do need to go in and work on this tree for the leaves. So we have quite a bit to work on, and I have to bring some of the grass back as well, which means I should probably get out lush foliage. I should get some of these colors back out. Kelly green. I think that was it for all I need for the foliage up there. Maybe some mint for the highlights. And then I need the pink for the pigs. I need iridescence for the lamp, which I will get out in a bit. But if I'm doing the flowers, I should get the iridescence out now anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these. I'm trying not to touch my hot glue gun because it is still hot. So I'm trying to keep stuff away from that. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the matte medium with the Pink is Pink, just because I do want that pink in there. Is that gray or no? That's not silver. Okay. All right, so let's get out the iridescence that I was going to use. So I'm going to use the chrome silver on this piece, along with a black, which I have to get out. And then I'm going to do a white for the flower, white and yellow for the flowers. So here is my yellow flash. Is this green? Yeah, that's green. Yellow, green. I don't want that. I want the black, which is right here, for the lamp, just to get those details in that the silver won't be getting. So those are three are for the lamp. And then for the flowers, purple, let's go with golden for the flowers because of the fact there's yellow ones as well. The yellow will also go in the flowers. And then I want the goldest gold that I have. The goldliest gold that I bought for the lamp. Which is not... Oh, there it is. Okay, I couldn't find it there for a second. Everything's falling over. So I'm going to use my goldliest gold from Stuart Stemple just a little bit for that little lamp piece right there. Oh, come on. There we go. So that's the plan. That's how we're going to do it. I am going to go ahead and mix a little bit of the Pink is Pink. If I have to mute it, I will. But I think it'll be a much more in your face if I have that Pink is Pink instead of like the muddy pink of a rat pig. Again, I know that's not the full color, the correct color way of doing it, but that's the way I want to do it. So I'm going to start with the silver here, and then I'm going to let that fully dry while I work on the flowers. Once I finish, I should probably do the pigs first, actually, because this pig is behind the flowers. Yeah, let's do the pigs first. I'm changing my plan. Well, I might still do the silver here first, and then do the pigs. Let's open these up, because I haven't even opened them yet. Oh, okay. It's just sealed on the cap. That's a thing. Where is my perforations to open this? I don't see them. So we're gonna make our own. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Tear it down. There we go. Oh, that didn't take all of it. Excuse me. Plastic. Did not say any of you could stay. Apparently it wants to stay. Let me see if I do this. It'll come off. Haha, I win. So the pinkest pink, or this pale pink, which is called baby pink, is ready to go for the base body. This one was Rose Center? Cendre? Oh, Cinder Rose. Hello, I'm reading the wrong level. This is Cinder Rose, which I think is a perfect color for the spots. But again, I want to add some of that pinkest pink to this piece. So they're going to be slightly off kilter on the color that they are supposed to be. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a rat pig piece and just do the rat pig and have the right colors on it. There we go. Oh, almost. Come on. There we go. That one was easier to open. Okay. So I need that chrome. I also need my brushes. I'm like doing everything and like stacking my desk and not getting the things I actually need. Yeah, I need to get some sharper scissors for upstairs. They are not doing well. I do want to go in with this hay bale and add some darker color or some yellow, something to highlight the swirl, but I don't know if I'm going to. Actually, I think I like it like... No, I'll leave it like that. Pigs. Probably going to need my bigger rounds. Especially with the flowers, I need that bigger brush. And then I'll also get this brush out. Then for detail spots, I need these smaller brushes. So I will be good there. I think that's all I need left for these particular pieces. And I'm going to start again with that silver on the lamp. As you can see, we are slowly bringing this together. I know at one point it looked like a pirate ship because I had it upside down and I was working on basically just brown. But as you can see, it really pulls together in the end as you finish and complete things. This is a little more thick than I would like. That's okay. I can make it work with the nice thin brush. Not super thick. It's kind of giving no coverage. But that's okay. I can make it work. Go. I may have to get out one of my detail brushes, which I have a ton of detail brushes now. I'll probably get out one of my from the box, from the ones I used to do for watercolor, but no longer do for watercolor, in order to put that black on this, because it has black outer rims and like detailing, which will hopefully bring that lamp here to life. Doesn't normally have silver here. I'm just adding it in to create a little bit more of a bright, vibrant lamp, instead of one that just kind of looks dull and like ready to give up. I think that's good. Like I said, I'll use that detailed brush to get in that black. So I'll use the detail brush to bring in that black, and then I will use the gold in the middle for the light portion, and then the other part that will have the shine will be the flowers in the very front. And I forgot to text my husband that he is safe to look now. I shall text him right now. I didn't want him to look at the anniversary piece because I want it to be a surprise for him on our anniversary. So that's part of why he's not watching currently. Otherwise, Sheriff would totally have this up in the background. He is working, but... Alright, so while that silver dries a bit, even though it is acrylic, so it should pretty much already be dry and I should be able to go over it, I am going to go in and do the pigs. That just makes more sense to me. Kind of how I'm doing it. Okay, we're going to start with the baby pink. I'm going to try not to cover the places that I have spots on it, on the pigs, so that way I don't have to worry about, God, words. So that way I don't have to worry about, trying to figure out where the spots are later. Pour some of this baby pink here in the front. I don't need a lot of it, I don't think. So I'm just going to do a tiny squirt. I'm going to go in with this thicker round brush. And we are going to paint the piggies. This baby pink is like the perfect color for the base pink on these pigs. Now I could do a mixture of the Cinder Rose and the Pinkest Pink because the inner ears of the pigs did look a little pinker than the dots. But then I'd only have one pig, which is that one, that's showing his ear enough to where you see the dots. Actually have that pink on there. Put that green leaf back. Didn't realize that leaf went into the piggy. Or the grass, I should say. Not leaf. Well, I can cover it up and it'll be a grass that's behind the pig. That's fine. So I know you guys have been having a long week just like I have. Mother's Day is coming up Sunday. Do you have your plans already designed or set up for Sunday? Have you guys already decided what you're doing for your moms? Are you still deciding? If you need a Mother's Day card, I am selling them for $5, which is a lot cheaper than you can get in any store. I did at first, when I first said the $5, when I sold one, I felt a little guilty saying $5, but that night I went and looked on my local grocery store's app to see how much the gift cards actually cost through, like Hallmark, and I was absolutely flabbergasted. So a basic card, any card from Mother's Day, ranges from $7 to $8. I think I saw one for like $6.50 as I threw a brush. I think I saw one for $6.50. And mine are only $5. So it's like, holy crap, I should not feel guilty about selling at $5 each, considering mine are unique, hand painted, all that type of stuff. I even come up with cute little sayings now. I didn't in the first batch that I did. I couldn't think of any cute sayings. But in this next batch, every card has some saying in it, which helps you with, deciding what to tell your mom. Hopefully I'll be able to get a good sale amount tomorrow, because Mother's Day is Sunday, and hopefully a good sale amount on Saturday as well. That way I can get a good amount of money back, because I did spend I've probably already made back the materials now that I think about it on just the show I did this last weekend, but I did buy more materials, and I think that would net me even based on that show. So any sale from this would just be over the amount of material cost. However, I also have to make up the table in which I'm paying for, so I need to make sure that I get enough here between Fridays or tomorrow's and Saturday's shows to actually cover tables, not just the cost of materials. I do probably need to stop by the bank either today or tomorrow. I might do it tomorrow before I head over to the farmer's market area. Just that way I can deposit the money I've made so far, so I'm not carrying too much on me. I don't want to have like a ton of bills on me that someone could look at and be like, I want to steal that. And I'll be like, no, that's barely enough to feed my family. Some of this grass I will have to put back in, just so that way I can get a little bit of depth in this pig, because this little section down here is definitely in front of the pig, and I had to cover up the leaf to paint the pig. Grass area. I don't think I had any grass, but it does also cover, it does also have a slight coverage over the pig. Now this pig only has 2 legs. I haven't decided if I want to put the other ones in. I don't think I'm going to. I don't know why rat pigs don't have tails. Like every rat pig picture I've seen doesn't have a tail on it, which which is kind of weird to me. I want to do the squiggly Q tail, but I also know that's not a rat pig. Now we're going to come up and start working on these ones up here. We're just slowly going through, trying to get all these piggies their nice pinkness. And I think I am going to go with the pinkest pink for the spots. I know it's not the correct color, but it'll create a nice vibrancy in the piece that I would otherwise not get. Trying to make sure I have a nice even here for the pig. This one's a little bit smaller, so it's a little harder detail, especially with the fence being right there, to not overpaint it. The nice thing about doing hand-painted art, like acrylic paintings like this, is you know for a fact they're not AI. I have seen so many artists get beaten out with AI products that it is, honestly, it's really sad. And I don't like it. So I am trying my best to fight the AI craze, to try and bring traditional art back. Got 2 piggies done, 3 more to go. You know, I'm just gonna do this one in the back real quick because this one is super easy. It's just a circle with 2 lines coming out its butt. Go. That piggy's done. Oop, as I touch the other piggy. Not touch the piggy. Cover up that green that's coming through underneath. Now, I do recognize with acrylic paintings, it would be better to work back to front, but I didn't want to constantly have to be mixing my colors and not get the exact same color each time to make this. I do recognize the grass is going to have to be multiple colors because they're not all the same, especially where the piggies are coming in being behind the grass. But I'm going to do the best I can. Kind of bring some life to the piggies by having them hide behind the grass in a few areas. So I will be mixing more grass color, don't worry. Just small amounts, as small as I can make, which is probably still going to be quite a bit, but I'm going to try my best. The ears do have a little issue. Ow! Thank you for the hydrate, Sheriff. I shall hydrate with water. Now, I am having a little issue with the ear disappearing here on this particular piggy. I can't see where it's at. I am going to have to add some shadowing in for that, which I'll probably do with the pinkest pink, or I may get out the Cinder Rose just to give a little bit more depth to this particular ear. I did pour too much pink, pale pink. I thought I'd need a lot more. I did not. Which means I can probably add some layers here where it's starting to show the green, the grass behind it. So I'm having an issue with that leg disappearing. Shadowing is going to go a long way in this pig. I am happy that I did manage to actually finish the anniversary piece. The only thing it's missing is a frame, which I don't usually show on stream. I just kind of do it. So I apologize. And I also am looking at, because I did make $16 at my last craft show. I am almost to the point where I can pay for at least 1 month of a website. So be on the lookout real soon for a website coming up where you can commission and see my portfolio and all that good stuff. I want at least a couple months worth of money for the website in my bank account before I pay for or start the free trial, I should say, of the website where I get 6 months free. Mostly because I really want my website to grow, but I also very much want to actually sell things on it. And you know, I want to be known, but I don't want to just be known as a starving artist like Da Vinci, where he couldn't pay for a single thing while alive, but as soon as he died, his artwork became worth millions. I don't need the millions. I just need, I mean, if I do get the millions, I would love that. I just need enough to help pay for stuff for my family. Maybe like an outing or something, a vacation, you know, that type of good stuff. Okay, one more pig to go. I added some layers to that front one because it was looking a little thin. Down to the snout, cheek brought in there. Now, Mother's Day I am very excited for. My husband has a plan that he won't tell me about. Like, I know what we're doing for lunch, but he's got plans for the rest of the day, and I don't know what they are. I don't know if I'm comfortable not knowing what they are. I'm so used to planning everything myself that I don't know if I trust him to plan. Doesn't help that I've seen him, when I give him a plan, delegate it to other people. Yes, I'm calling you out, Sheriff. Instead of planning it himself. So when he plans it himself, I'm even more worried. Too many times has it been just a whatever happens, happens. Like, no, plans are important. That pale pink is all good there. Still a few holes here and there that it just doesn't want to cover and go into. That's a canvas thing. That's not a paint thing. Fight me. No, I'm not going to fight you. Because you know I'm right. So there's no fight to be had. I did forget to get the regular black out for pig's eyes, but I might use a fine liner pen for that. I don't want you to be spread nicely. Thank you. Clean lines here. So the acrylic is already pretty much dried out. That's part of why I'm getting it wet right now.
Sheriff, Frosty Fox May's words are as sharp as ice. But let's keep the peace and focus on positivity.
Yeah, Sheriff.
Embrace the chill vibes.
Get called out by May. I think I used up all my pale pink that I can use. The rest of it is dried in my palette. But I think that's all I needed for it. There's a few areas that could use a little bit more, but I don't think I'm gonna pour a whole glump out just for those. I'm going to clean my brush, and this is where it gets fun. I do see a couple spots right there that I want to go after. Squish them on there. Is there any other white spots? I don't see any. Okay. So this is where it's going to be fun, because I'm going to be mixing up this pinkest pink. I got to do the smallest amount I can, because of the fact that I don't need a lot of it. So I'm actually going to get out one of my spoons for making my watercolor paint. And I'm going to hopefully, take out the smallest amount here. So like that much. And mix a nice pink. Let's put it in here. Oh, I don't need a ton of pink right now because it's just a few areas here. And I'm going to hopefully, if I can open this liquid matte, just kind of spoon out some of the liquid matte as well instead of trying to dump it, because then I'll end up with too much paint. Actually opened already? No, it's got a cover. Just what I thought it would. I gotta be careful to not make too much paint here. Like, very careful, because I don't have anything to store this paint in either when I mix it. So I'm just gonna do like that much, about 1/3 of a spoonful. We're just gonna put that in there. I think I'll do a little bit more because that looks like a lot of powder to liquid ratio. So about 1/4 of my spoon. Clean that spoon off. And I know you're not supposed to use a brush to mix paint. For everyone there that's going to rage about it, I know you're not supposed to use a painting brush to mix paint. I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. That doesn't go in there. That goes up there. Spoon goes back in there. Okay, so I am... Okay. I'm going to use my smallest brush to mix it and paint with it. So we're just going to kind of stir these together until the powder disappears. As you guys can see, it is a very bright, vibrant pink. Now the base I could have used for this, I did use Liquitex bases. The Stuart Stemples store does actually sell bases, and it kept asking me to add one, but I couldn't understand why. I thought the Pinkest Pink was a actual paint, not a system of powder or a container of powder. I don't know why I didn't catch on that it was powder instead of paint. So it kept asking me to use their base, but I wasn't thinking. Okay, so we're gonna take this Pinkest Pink and I'm gonna put a little bit in the ear here. And yes, that is very vibrant pink. This is definitely not the pink of the pigs. Hopefully it stands out a little bit better. It gives a little bit more detail. And I will be going in with that Cinder Rose. I have decided to help define some of the shadows on these pigs. Now this pink doesn't, at least with this medium, doesn't like spreading very well. I have tried the pink with my watercolor and made a watercolor Pinkest Pink. That one seemed to spread okay. Just this pink with this base just isn't feeling it. I really liked it with the watercolor, so I may continue making more watercolors here in the future. Just because I enjoyed that process. I like making my own paint. Who knows, maybe I'll start a business or a side piece. You know, a side section of my business where you can buy the paint that I make. That one's good. These ones you don't see the ears, so I don't have to do the ears. Just the spots. I think this I didn't put enough pink to base ratio, so I didn't need to add that extra base in there like I thought I would. This is my first time mixing the pink with an acrylic base, so that's part of why I wasn't first time mixing any paint with an acrylic base. So I wasn't sure the ratio I needed. I forgot to research that before doing it, which would have been smart. Would have been 100% smart. But I did not do it. Very liquidy paint, I will say that. Just hoping it doesn't get too thin here. I may have to do a couple layers of this. Those ears are very thin and have like painter streaks on them. Plus side, it's still thick enough that it's covering most of my pencil marks, not all of them. I think if as I layer it here, it'll cover more of the pencil strokes. I definitely have to dip in it a lot, partially because I'm trying to get it thick enough that it's not doing the paint strokes, partially because I have a small brush, so it's not carrying as much paint as it should. Or as it could, not should. Small brushes are known to not carry a lot of paint. that. Right, so those are all looking good. Again, I do recognize that this pink is way too pink for the rat pigs. I don't care. This is my piece of art. If you want it to be the correct color and match perfectly, like with the cinder rose, you can paint your own piece. And yeah, that's how I'm going to say it. Paint your own piece if you don't like the colors I pick. I think I made the perfect amount of pink because it's starting to get a little low here. I'm seeing the bottom of the pan and it's definitely bundling on one side here. I think I have about half what I made left. And with me having to layer it, it's gonna definitely use all of it. So I'm not wasting any of that pinkest pink, which is very nice. But I definitely have to layer these. These are this is just a bit too thin. I could add more pigment, but that would require getting the pigment out and the spoon out, and I don't want to do that again. I think I had a lot more fun with the watercolor of the pinkest pink than I am with this acrylic, which again could just be a matter of me not knowing how to mix acrylic. But we'll see in the future. And I have a cat coming over to harass me. Hello, cat. How are you today? Are you in need of the attentions because you are being the abused by not having attention 24/7? She walked away from me when I said that. She's like, you terrible person calling out what I am doing. Put that on a bit thicker on this front piece just to hopefully not need another layer. Now, I don't know where I'm going to shadow the pigs 100%. The ears maybe a little bit of the snout. I don't want to shadow too much of it and make it look awkward. Okay, there's that pinkest pink. Let's go ahead and do the second layer on some of these. Some of them are still wet, so they're not going to take that second layer too kindly. Doesn't mean I can't try. Some areas it covered the pencil nicely, some areas it didn't. I think, again, that has to do with the thickness of it. I'm guessing with acrylic, it's supposed to be a 1-to-1 ratio instead of the 1 to almost 2 that I did here. I was just so nervous about making it, and I didn't want it to be too thick. Apparently, I didn't do it thick enough. So I'm starting to cover up those pencil lines here. Nice even coverage. There we go. I think the last layer is, which I'm almost done with this pink anyway. The last layer is going to be the spots down here. Hopefully getting some of this grass, this dark grass covered up. Darker bits. Good there. Nope. Spread it around and it stopped being spread. Okay, there. That should be good for coverage on that one. Now we're going to come down here and get rid of some of the pencil marks on these ones. That is going to take quite a while to dry because I am making it so thick. Like layered. I'm going to give that quite a while to dry before I go after that grass again. But I do need to go after that grass again before I put the flowers in. Otherwise, the grass will look weird being on front of the flowers. That's why I did these big leaves down at the bottom, was to give a little bit of a like a background before the flowers, and then I'm going to do another layer on top. I think we're good. I used up most of this pink. I think I've covered up all my pencil lines. I have definitely layered that dark out of existence, because I keep putting it back into existence. The back ones look good. Yeah, this is a vibrant pink. Line work here. Okay. I don't want water on my phone. Thank you. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with that Cinder Rose, which should be what the spots get anyway. Make a few shadows here and there. Might actually mix some of that pinkest pink into it, because the Cinder Rose is very, very deep red, or deep, almost grayish pink. So we're going to mix some of the pinkest pink. Just a little bit here, whatever's left in my container. I probably should have just put the cinder pink in this one, but I didn't think about mixing it yet. We're going to kind of get this a little bit more pink. Less dry. Kind of non-existent pink. Give me all that pink. Well, the cinder definitely barely had anything happen to it. There wasn't enough pinkest pink to make a difference. I don't think there's any left in this little pot thing to make it any more pink, so it's fine. It is fine. So we're going to go in, we're just going to shadow some of these places. Bring out some of the lines again. Not going to do a lot of shadowing here, just enough. Enough to kind of suggest what's going on here. Yeah, and we'll kind of this around. This will have a little bit of a shadow here. I'm going to add some water to this just so it flows a little better. I do want this to flow as I'm doing this. Up here to this pig in the background. Add a little bit of shadowing on him. Pig up front here. This ear. Now we're just getting that shadow in to kind of bring out the piggy a little bit more. Spreading as nicely as I would like. I could water it down again. I'm trying to avoid adding too much water to this paint. Add some more water. It's not painting as smoothly as I'd like. But yes, that is one of the tricks for acrylic. If you need to add acrylic, if you need the acrylic to spread better, all you need to do is add some water to it. Yes, I'm doing a lot of shadowing on some of these piggies. A little bit more than I anticipated, at least. Got to add some shadow into this piggy up here. Or like a sun shadow on the ground next to it, which I may have covered in grass, honestly. I may have done it. Ooh, something smells like a cat just had died. Maybe a cat did die. Holy cow. Woo! Ooh, kitties. Kitties, please. Don't kill me. Owie! Thank you for the hydrate, Sheriff. I shall hydrate with water. I did add a touch of the pinkest pink into the Cinder Rose, so there is very touch. Like I said, I don't think it changed it too much, but it may have changed some of the undertones of it. There is that. Keep that in mind when looking at this piece and seeing that shadow. Oh, I forgot to shadow over here. Now to shadow this chonker. Just kind of outlining about where we want our shadows to be. Paint this one in real quick just because I don't want to forget which side's which here. There is, again, some shadow going into that green. Not ideal, but I can work with it. Kind of thicken it up and hide that green, that see-through to the green. Now, most artists that I've seen that work with acrylic really like what's called heavy body acrylic. It's a lot thicker and a lot more pigmented. So when you put that color down, it is that color. It is not showing anything behind it. I don't know if I'll ever work with thick body, just because my favorite medium is watercolor. And thick body is very expensive, and I don't know if I want to spend that much money on an acrylic when I am enjoying watercolor much more. In the future, I will continue to do acrylic paintings, rare occasions oil, because fuck oil, and mostly watercolor for everything else. This piggy, a little bit of shadowing here. Wet this again. Yep, there we go. Get it nice and fluid. Shadowing here. Probably a little bit going down the back of the neck here. Add more water again. Does not want to flow. Now, adding more water does thin out the paint and the pigment, so that's part of why it's looking a little thinner than everything else right now. That's one of the reasons I don't work with acrylic as much, because yes, with watercolor, it creates a new value of the color. It also creates more options in watercolor. But with acrylic, it kind of kills the acrylic portion of it and turns it into watercolor essentially. Take some of that pinkest pink. Just gonna add it in there like a shadow here. My palette isn't the cleanest. I do apologize for that. I do the best I can to keep my palette clean, but sometimes the acrylic just doesn't want to come out, no matter how hard you scrub, which is why artists constantly buy new palettes when they start having colors mixed together. Old colors mixing with the new ones kind of sucks. Go over this back end here again because it's showing a lot of that grass again. That will need to dry. I'm looking at these other ones, trying to debate if anything needs more. I'm not seeing too many here that are looking too bad. A few here and there that need fixed up. Trying to make sure I don't leave any white around the rat pigs, that way they're not like glowing. I did leave those rat pigs white around the grass. I'm trying to clean up also my brush lines. Out of that cinder rose. I'm doing pretty good on guesstimating how much I need. So one of the tricks you can do to not get pen or brush lines is A, turn your paint into watercolor. Because watercolor, the water flows and makes it less paint strokey. Or B, use a bigger brush. I just don't like using big brushes for some reason. I like having that control of the detail. But yes, it does still give a lot of paint strokes when it's a small brush. Alright, I like how that looks so far. That's looking really good. I do have to give the pigs a minute to dry before I do those flowers. I am going to work on the lamp and the tree next, so that way the pigs have plenty of time to dry, especially before I add the black for their eyeballs. So for the gold on the lamp, I'm going to start with that one. I just need to do the gold, dip it straight in, and then I'll let that dry, and then I will do the black iridescent when it's done drying. Now, acrylic doesn't take that long to dry. It should, like I said, it should pretty much be dry now. Why is the sealant still back on there? I used this gold already, thank you. Just going to dip a little bit of this gold. Don't need a lot. I'm going to paint over this silver in the middle. The goldliest gold that we have. This lamp does normally shine yellow, which is why I am doing a little bit more gold than yellow here. I need that iridescence somewhere in my piece. I think the lamp glowing is a good place for it. That should be plenty of gold to make that lamp shine once we add that black in. Now again, we're going up to those leaves for the next step and giving the pigs their time to rest, if you will. Gonna put some of this color away. The piggies are done, so we're gonna put the pinks away. My pinkest pink is already put away. So now we're down to like yellows, whites, iridescents, that type of stuff, and the greens. So let's go ahead and knock out those greens while we're here. And I should get out my black for the eyes. That way I remember to do the eyes. That's not black. Are you black? You're pavement. I want black. Are you black? You're black. Okay. And I also need the black for my signature at the bottom as well anyway. So now to make this tree feel alive, like these trees feel alive, we are going to have the light green. That apparently needs shooken up because, oh my lord. So light green. And then I'm going to take and add a little bit of the lush foliage to that green, so that way it's not as bright a green, or at least so it has a little bit of consistency. This one needs shaken up as well. You need to get one of those vortex shakers, you know, the ones that just like shake it in like half a second. Okay, so light green is going to have a bit of lush. Oh, come on. Why are you not coming out? Stuck. Do you have a blockage here? Yep, you did have a blockage. Okay. So the inside of the cap had a nice, thick, dried out portion of the blockage. This might not be the green I used last time, but it's fine. It'll work. So a little bit of that green. We're going to have the medium green here, which is just straight lush foliage, and a dark green, which is going to have a little bit of lush foliage, and a Kelly green. Now for this one, I am not going to use my small brush. I'm actually going to use my flathead brush to create a little bit more of like a stipple, or stipple, or whatever you want to call it. That way it can kind of blend a little better. So we're going to take that Kelly green, add that in there. And those will be my 3 colors. I'm going to start with the lightest one. So I'm going to mix those 2 together. Just that way it has that consistent light undertone of the green that comes with lush green. I'm just going to start kind of stippling here. I might have wanted to dry brush because that's a lot here. We're just going to kind of spread this out. And don't worry, we'll be bringing back some of that undertone here in just a minute. A bit more and just kind of dry it off to stipple it a little bit. So just to give it a little bit more realistic feeling here. I am going to stipple it in a little bit here and there on the other side, just to create kind of like a second layer or a second bushel that's a little bit more forward here. And I will be adding more of that medium in there, and we're going to be going back and forth with these colors a lot. Now I want to go in with that super dark green. Again, I'm mixing with the lush foliage to create more of a consistent palette color here. Now we're going to take that dark green and come over here. We're just going to kind of stipple it in. Now it looks like I did the Kelly green for the base tree color, so I may have to add a touch of black or something to this. I don't think I have a darker green. I just don't know where it's at. Yeah, I think I'm going to add a teeny tiny touch of black. Gonna end up a little dark. Come on, drip it, drip it, drip it. Okay, fine, I will drip it myself. Add a little bit of black, which, oh my goodness, does that change the color drastically. Yes, black you need very, very little to change a color. We're gonna try that. That's a little better for the dark. Kind of twisting our brush around, getting different angles and signs and things like that. create more variation. And then there will be some darks in the middle between the two and a little bit in the light as well. We will be going back over with that light just to create more depth, but this is about what we're looking at. With a lot of painting work, you have to work a little bit on back and forth when it comes to lights and darks. A lot of people with oil paintings start with their darks and then add lights as they go, which I can understand why. It can be hard to get the colors to look just like they're supposed to, and in oil it's easier to lighten than it is to darken, which I don't know how that works, but you know what? That's how that works. And this dark green is not as dark as I would like, but that's okay. Add a little bit more on this center bit here. I'm gonna wash the brush of the super dark, and we're gonna go to medium. This is where we're gonna, see that light, that medium is much lighter. Just gonna slowly take that medium into that dark a little bit here and there. Just that way we can have that medium be the not the combiner, the base. I don't know what word I'm looking for. We're just gonna ignore that word. Add a little bit more dark. Actually, pick up some of that dark. That side is nice and blended. Go back in that medium, and now we're gonna do this side. And I will go back in with that highlight again in just a minute. Working on blending all the colors together right now. Pull that out and just... Might be a little too much paint on here for that medium color to really shine. Go back in with that dark. Pull it back in. And as I blend it, it's going to blend with that medium, which is going to create a nicer gradient. And now I'm going to go back in with that light. Just going to pull it back in on these side edges here. A little bit coming into the middle. Blend it out so it's not as harsh. A bit more medium to that because I did take it a little too far. And add that dark back a little bit. There we go. That looks really good. And now we're going to do this second tree. Again, as I'm blending it, it's going to take some of that medium and just kind of blend into that light, which is going to give that nicer, softer gradation. And there we go. Now that's a tree brought to life. I'm still going to work on blending it a little bit. Just needs a touch of that medium and a little bit of that dark on this side. Again, to try and pull some of those like darker behinds of the tree into that light area. All right, that looks good. I approve. Now I am recognizing that Kelly green is what I use for the grass. So I am going to be working on using just straight Kelly green instead of these mixtures. I may add a little bit of black to darken the one, you know, I am going to use a little more black and then throw it in with these currant leaves here. I don't know why I turned that away from me. I have no clue. I just wanted to turn it away from me, apparently. Black. Darken it again. Get a little more black. We added 3 drops total, 2 just now, into this green, the lush green and the Kelly green. And now we're going to add some darker grass points around here. So we're going to kind of bring in a little bit more of that coverage here. Here and there. Add some up here. A little bit in here. Also, this color isn't found only on the base here, the bottom. Which I do very much like these flat brushes to do my grass a little bit more, just because of the fact that it does create a little bit more of a I need to add some water to this so it flows a little better. Just because it creates more of a kind of like tapered look at the end. And at the end, I may take some of that lush green and mix it with some Kelly green, just so I get that lighter green that I had up there on the tree for the lighter grass petals in the very front. I don't want to go straight into the flowers right now because of this dark green that I'm putting on here. I want to wait a little bit before going after that, just that way I can make sure the white and the yellow don't mix with the coloration. Give me that. There we go. Okay. That's looking good so far. Piggies are almost fully dry. The pinkest pink is where they're still wet. It looks like my lantern is dry though, so I can do the details on that. Again, I'm going to get out a detail brush. And I'm not going to put away the greens quite yet. I am going to get rid of the pale green or mint. But I'm going to keep the lush and the Kelly green. This is for the flowers. This is for the flowers. And this will be for the grass in front of the flowers. This is the white iridescent for the flower, the yellow iridescent for the flower, black for the piggies, and black iridescent for the lamp. Every single one of these I open has a little bit of paint wrapped around the tip of it. So I'm just going to do a little bit of iridescent black, and I mean very little. Maybe, if it'll come out. That's a little bit more than I needed, but it's fine. And then I'm going to come over here to my detail brushes, which I'm sure you guys remember. I used them for watercolor. I haven't really used them much because I got the Stabilize and the Riggers, but I will use them for my acrylics because why not? So this one is a 3-0 brush. I'm just going to dip it in my water so I can make it a little bit more pointed, so I can have a little bit more control of the detail. I'm going to take this iridescent black, just gently coat it on my tip of my brush, and we're just going to outline the lantern here. Add some small details as well. Just kind of tracing where the colors landed. Like I said, I don't need a lot of this black. I put way too much on. There we go. I think I'm going to add a little bit of detail in here. I know there is an actual detail on the center part of the lantern. I just want to give it a little bit more. I could make the eyes of the pigs iridescent, I guess, and then I don't need the black. I do need the black for the signature, but I guess I could also do the signature in iridescent. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do shiny eyes on the piggies. Because I have a ton of black, and I did not have to use a lot of it. So here's one eye. Another eye. Now I could, in true Rosie style, add a highlight to these pig eyes. I don't know if I will yet. Add an eye. These two did not have eyes because they're kind of facing away. Well, maybe this one did. We're going to give this one an eye right there. This one an eye because it was also in the drawing it had an eye. Now, this makes the rat pigs feel lifeless. I'm not going to lie. I think I am going to do the shine in the eye because this piggy feels dead. It has a nice shine right now to it. Just because of the black iridescence going on with it. The grass feels pretty dry, so I should be able to do the grass now and the flowers. So I'm going to leave out my detail brush here. Actually, no, I'm not. Is there anywhere else I need detailing? No, there really isn't. So I'm going to put my detail brush away, actually. And now I'm going to do the flowers, which I got out this very big, I think it's a filbert. Yeah, it's a filbert. Filbert brush. And I'm just going to kind of splotch in the yellows and the whites in different areas. So the yellow and white ones on this side, and these ones were just white. The yellow and white ones were kind of smaller and a little further back. The white ones are very in the front. So I'm going to be making them different sizes. I'm starting with a normal yellow instead of the iridescent yellow. That way I can give a nice base of bright color for the iridescent and not have it show through to that really dark grass shade we have going on. And I have been very exhausted lately. I haven't been doing really good on relaxation. So once this piece is done, I am going to end the stream for the day. I need to have some relaxation. I also need to make sure I have 2 tables and a chair in my car for the show tomorrow. So I apologize that this is kind of a shorter stream. It was an earlier stream, and it was an earlier stream, and then I have a lot I gotta do to prep. For the most part, I should be mostly prepped. It'll probably only take me like 30 minutes. I will admit to that. But it's enough that I want to have enough time. I'm probably going to use a decent chunk of white, so I'm going to put more white in there than I would normally think. I think right there should be good. I did put too much yellow because I know there aren't a lot of yellow flowers, but that's fine. So I'm just going to take my filbert, fill it with some yellow, and then just kind of splotch them in like different positions. This is just going to kind of give a little bit of a option here. Moving it around and getting some floral patterns in here. Now these ones again are the smaller ones, so they're not going to be as detailed as my white ones in the front, but I am trying to get some detail in them and not just have them be like round little ovals. Those are going to be all the yellow that I do. I may add some yellow here a little bit more after I do the white, but we'll see. Now with the big yellow ones, I may take my big filbert, which I think I will, just to get those bigger petals on there. I'm going in and I'm dipping in the white, and we're going to make some white ones here. Keep in mind, these yellow and the white are going to have a second layer that I'm going to add iridescent to. Just going to create a little bit more of a difference, I guess. A little bit more shine and really pull your eyes toward these flowers. Now the flowers were pretty proliferous, if you will, and I'm going to bring them off so they're off to the side as well, so it feels like a flower garden going off the page. closer. We're gonna do here. Just that way it feels a little bit more connected, if you will. I will be adding the stems here in a minute. I think I'm going to do the lush green with some Kelly green to make, oops, I didn't want the white, I wanted the yellow. Just to make it a little bit more kind of matching the color of this base here. I want the stems to be there, but I don't want them to stand out too badly. Kind of round these edges here. This one we're going to round this a little bit more. Okay. So while we're doing that, let's go ahead and add, I'm going to give those a minute to dry. I'm going to go ahead and add the Kelly green to this lush that I still have here. And we're going to add the stems real quick. I may just do, gunky. I don't want gunky. Some of my paint is so old that it's just gunky. And I'm also going to do straight Kelly green. So the lush with the Kelly green is going to be my highlight pieces. I'm going to do the Kelly green, and I'm doing that line again with the flat brush. I'm just going to bring those down with the Kelly green so they're there but not super evident. And with them being further behind, I don't want it to create too much like perspective issues. So we're going to go, whoop. We're going to add some leaves in here. These are going to be thinner, kind of tall leaves. And we will be doing the same for the front ones. And then once these are done, I can go in and start making the highlight sections on this left side. We're just kind of bringing in what we can where we can. Again, I probably should have worked back to front instead of putting all the flowers on at once. I should have probably done the back ones and then done the stems and the leaves and then worked my way forward. That would have been the more logical thing to do. I think I hear baby tiger screaming peekaboo. Probably with Dad. It's so cute. Go. Now we're going to do some more of those big ones in the front. Now the big ones didn't cover the petals too much, so I don't want to do too much green on the front. Oops, I picked up some white on that last one. Get that white off my brush because I don't want too much white here. Now, this would be easier if I let the flowers completely dry. I'm trying to do this all in one go. That looks good. Just trying to get some of that grass here to grow. And I am going to let that dry before I do the next layer of where it's more bright and like sun-filled. We're going to let that side dry, and now we're going to do the whites, just straight white big ones. Again, I'm going in with this big filbert brush. We're dipping it in the white, and then we're just kind of making flowers here. Now, these flowers are no rhyme or reason, really. I'm just kind of making them as I go, making it up really. And this one I am going to do the layer that I said in the back where I'm doing the back ones first and then slowly bringing them forward. I do want to add one right here, which is a little bit more back than the one I just did, which will make it a little more challenging, but it's fine. I'm going to lay that down, and I'm going to take my big filibert, the one I did for these small ones. I'm going to dip that in the Kelly green, and then make the stems that go all the way down. Now I could mix a little bit of that Kelly green with the lush and do the lush ones, but I'm going to save that for the more front ones, so that way they have a little bit of highlight as they come forward. I'm going to add a little bit of a stem right there. Bring this one down, and we're going to go ahead and add some leaves on these, and whatever leaves show up at the end is whatever leaves show up at the end. I'm going to do one more row of the Kelly green whites, and then I will do the lush and Kelly green for the highlights, and by then I should be able to highlight the grass as well, because this side should be dry enough by then. Should. Keyword is should. Okay, so we got that one sorted. I'm going to set that over there because I'm just going to be going back in that with that Kelly green and dip back in the white. Now this is going to be a pain because it's going to mix with the green that is still wet. You got to be careful to make sure these flowers are white. There's that, and then I think a couple more should be good. Do one here. Picked up a lot of the green. Kind of make that white again. Now the green does add a little bit of life to the white because there isn't white in the world that is straight up white. Do one right here. Again, this one's a little bit more back, but that's fine. There is no white in the world that is straight white, so it can be really tricky to work with whites, especially out of the tube, because it gives a non-natural feeling. But because this is an anime world, I'm going to pretend like they have straight white. I think I am happy with that. The flowers aren't super in focus, which they would be in the game, but that's fine. That is totally fine. Just kind of adding some more white to this green one here in the front. Clean in my brush. And now we are going to do the Kelly green, maybe mix a little bit of lush with it on some of the sections of it, but we're going to stick with the Kelly green for the main part. For the thicker part of the stem, it's going to be Kelly green. And then we will add a highlight on the side facing the sun for the lush and green. Add some leaves here, and these leaves will also get some highlights on them. And that highlight's just going to give some variation on some green colorage here. So we're going to mix the Kelly green and the lush green. I think I need a little bit more Kelly green in that because it's a bit bright still. Oh, I have Kelly green over here that I didn't use. Scoot all this up over here. There we go. That's a little better. There's some chunks in it, but that's fine. Now we're just going to add that lush green on here for the side of the stem. We'll also add in some lightness for the leaves. Add some light grass up here. Slowly kind of bring some of that light green over here. That grass height. That is in the very front. Ready thing that you're trying to do. Bring that over here for the other flowers. I probably should have iridescent them before I started making the grass, but it's fine. I'll make it work. I think that looks good. Yeah, that gives kind of like a layered effect of grass here. Maybe add a little bit of this like brighter grass up here. Spots here and there. There we go. That looks not bad at all. It's not a perfect recreation of a rat pig farm, but it's getting there. It's doing pretty good. There it is. I was like, where'd I put my towel? Now, doing the iridescence is going to be a little bit more challenging because of the fact that I have leaves covering it and things like that, which is why I made the comment I probably should have done the iridescence before the leaves. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're gonna work on it the best we can. I'm going to do some iridescent white in that white pan where we used up all of it, and then some iridescent yellow in the pan next to it. Pretty much filled the entire pan here. Should be plenty. We may have to do a couple layers on some of these with like the yellow and stuff, just because the yellow doesn't always come out very pretty, but this time it actually is. It's coming out pretty thickly. Touching the wet grass here, getting it all over my hand. I'm good at that. This actually is doing really nicely with this back color. The iridescent paint can be really thin, and I hated working with it because I felt like if I painted something with, like, for example, yellow flash, it was just a coating over the top of whatever was behind it. So I started doing bases with it, and I haven't done the yellow since I started doing bases, and this is looking really good. I might actually not need multiple layers. Just taking the round brush and being very careful to not paint outside the flower that was created with the filbert brush. Go. Creating a nice, beautiful shine. And yes, I am painting over the grass in some areas. Sue me. We're almost done here, and I have quite a bit of yellow left, so I may do a couple layers on some of these. The only thing we have left after this is the faux frame, which I do need a normal black for, so I might get that black back out. I have two pieces that I got a faux frame, but with the hot glue on the one and the sealing currently drying, I don't want to work on the anniversary piece to make a faux frame. I have until November to make a faux frame on that, so we're good there. But this one, I mean, I have till September for this one. But I think with this being only acrylic, I should be good to do the faux frame just fine, and then I can start sealing it. This one will take quite a bit of sealing, probably 3 to 4 layers of my crystal clear. I think that looks good. I might No, I'm gonna save some of that yellow. I'm gonna put little yellow dots in the middle of these white ones, just to create a center of the flower type thing going on. I don't think I have enough white. I'm probably gonna need more white, so I'm actually gonna pour a little bit more white. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna start with the big flower. No, I'll start with the little flowers. It's fine. If I need more, I need more. It's, you know, it happens. Mixing in that green with my white. I don't like that. I am tackling these a little bit faster than I probably should be. I should be giving the acrylic time to set between layers. But you all know me. I am an impatient little person, which causes me to be stubborn, to do things that I probably shouldn't do, including like hurting my back yesterday because I wanted studio lights wrapped in roses and I didn't want to wait for my husband's help in an area that he definitely should have been the one to do, and I hurt myself. So you know what? It happens. It's fine. Now the white that I chose has a yellow golden flash to it. I figured with the other flower being yellow, this would be a good complement and would help them kind of feel cohesive between them. Ow! Sheriff, why are you hard bullying me? I can't hear anything. Literally can't hear anything. Anyway, so I figured the yellow flash would work better with the yellow flowers next to it. And if I do that yellow flash in the middle of the bigger flowers to represent the center, I think that'll go very, very nicely together. There we go. A little bit of white flash here and there. A little bit with the grass. I think it is looking fabulous. I like the shine of those flowers a lot. Patient, don't be a doofus with the whole hurting your back thing. Patient, no, I don't do patience. Patience is not in my vocabulary, and I refuse to let it. Now to do those big white flowers. Now, thankfully, with this not being watercolor, I can layer it and put the yellow on top without having to worry about it bleeding or like separating out, so I don't have to necessarily wait for this white to dry. But right now, my brush is covered in white, so I don't want to mix the two colors and, you know, go back and forth rinsing my brush on every single flower.
Patience is a virtue, Sheriff. Frosty Fox May will guide Rosie with wisdom and grace.
No, you won't.
Let's embrace the journey together.
No, you won't. You're not getting me to be patient. It's never happening, May. You know it's never going to happen. Slowly but surely, taking the 8 million hours to add shine to a painting, because you know my ADHD ass needs to have shine on everything. It's not the same if it's not shiny. Heck, I've started making my own watercolor paint for shine. I still really want to work with Lizzie Linka paint because it's supposed to be basically liquid glitter, but I worry and don't want to spend as much as I think I would have to. I worry that it's going to actually be a just a mica powder that they use, and that it's all lighting tricks to make it look like it's as shiny as it shows in the videos. It's so satisfying in the videos, but I worry it's not going to be that satisfying in real life. I am used to making things super shiny, and Lizzie Linka is supposed to be like liquid glitter. Supposed to be. I don't know if it actually is. I still want to get myself like a small pallet just to test it out, which they do have small pallets on Etsy for like 30 bucks. And I think with Etsy I can get around having to pay the tariff from the company. I don't know for certain. I will have to research into that. I know from their website you have to pay the tariffs, and they don't take the tariff fee. They send you the invoice and then tell you to pay the tariff, which is weird. I don't know if I approve of that. Almost done. I got 3 flowers left. Then I will sign, and then maybe we'll faux frame today. I think we will. And then I will end stream, so that way I can start prepping for my show tomorrow. Well, farmer's market, I should say. I am impressed and surprised that the farmer's market, which is also an artisan's market, don't get me wrong, but it's mostly for farmers, actually allowed me in. Because I have paintings, and that's my life. I paint things. I should, in all honesty, save all the money I'm making. I'm just thinking out loud here. I was considering using some of the funds that I've made from the sale of tables, because I should have enough to buy one like small pallet, like a little tiny 4 tester amount, half or quarter pan size, just to test out the Lizzie Linka. I should have enough to do that. But at the same time, I've had these placemat paintings that I've had for a while now that I put on hold because I realized getting each single set of placemats is almost 50, 60 bucks. And I didn't think people would pay 60 bucks for a set of 6, so $10 a placemat. But I'm considering maybe I should invest in it because I also haven't shown those pieces off at all. Or just sell them as bigger pieces. I could do that too. But with the placemats, what I was going to do is I was going to get them laminated. No, I did. Yeah, I did do the right one. I was going to get them laminated, and then I think I picked up regular white somehow in that. I was going to get them laminated and then have them be like laminated placemats. But the cost of that was astronomical. I feel like this one didn't get iridescent. I feel like I picked up normal. Where did I put that white? There it is. I feel like I picked up normal white, not iridescent white, because I did use the same pan for them. Put a little bit more iridescent in that. That should be nice and shiny. Now I do have an iridescent medium that I work with on some things. I'm thinking about adding it to when I make my next watercolor a mica powder. Mica powder is already iridescent. I feel like adding the iridescent medium will just make it shine. And almost hoping that'd be like liquid glitter. Okay. So I've got that cleaned out, and now I'm going to add little yellow dots in the middle of them. Not perfect dots. Some of them are going to be kind of like that, where it's a little bit more of like a C shape. Some of them are going to be a little bit flatter. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a little bit more of a C shape. Or crescent moon shape, I guess, is also another way to call it. A little V here. I want to get more yellow. So that would be... I'd over pour it, like always. I may have to, if I'm going to do each of these with a yellow. Go. This one I'm going to do like a little V. Now I could add some black and white together to make an iridescent gray. Yeah, I need more yellow. Which would make an interesting shadow for the white flowers, just to define the petals a little bit. Oh, come on. Yellow's hard to squirt out. Words. I don't know what my words are. I've lost words already. What was I saying? I forgot. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, the gray. I would make an interesting look for the petals to help get these white petals a little bit more defined. But I don't think I necessarily need it. So it's gonna be a nice big center. Just because I think with how it looks, it's looking pretty good without it. It leaves some of the flower petal pattern to your imagination. So I'm kind of seeing it with brush strokes instead of defining it with shadows. And that gives someone a little bit more freedom to see in their mind how these flowers are sitting, however they want to see it. I think I am good on that. So I'm going to put some of this yellow back in, and then I'm going to rinse my brush and put some of the white back in, because the iridescent isn't exactly the cheapest paint. It's not expensive, but it's not the cheapest either. Okay. There's that yellow put back in. And I do like where I did the shines here a little bit. I'm just going to do a little bit over the top of this, just to make it feel kind of glowy. There. Okay. I do like how I did the iridescence in this. It looks really, really nice in my opinion. I don't know if I forgot to do the highlight white. Okay, I'm glad I didn't put the white away yet. I'm gonna take my tiny brush. Is this a rigger? It's a round. It's just a round size 3. And I'm gonna add some iridescent highlights to these eyes, just because I want the piggies to feel more alive. Right now they feel a little dead. I know in the reference photo that I have, the piggies don't have eye shines. But to me, I feel like it's important to have, just because it feels less dead. There we go. Now the piggies look happy. Alright. Okay, so now I gotta put the white away. Then I could put the black away too, which I might do as well. Like I said, while the iridescence wasn't super expensive, it wasn't exactly cheap either. I do have enough yellow. I can probably put the yellow away since I didn't mix that. The greens I can't unmix. The pinks I used all up. And yeah, I think the only ones I need to put away now is just the iridescent black and the yellow. I keep putting the rag on the wrong side of the table. That is not helping anyone. Those ones all go in a special box. White I don't necessarily need. Let's pick up this iridescent black here. Now, cleaning palettes for between sessions with acrylic can be kind of a pain. I did get one of those scrub mommies to help with it, but the I don't have enough space to really angle it to get a good clean on it. I am liking how that more forward tree is looking. It feels a little bit brighter and light. And the fact it's 2 separate trees, which I didn't catch because there's 2 separate trunks and I just didn't process that. Now it looks like there's two trees kind of competing there. I'm glad I did that second area of light where I did. So that's yellow put away. Again, I can't put away the greens because the greens are their own color. I would do the iridescent black for the signature, but I realized I need normal black for the faux frame. So I am going to use normal black. So let me go ahead and get that back out. That's not it. Finding it's always a pain. It's pavement. That's purple. Where did I put that black? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay. I do need to go through on my paints and take a little bit of paint and paint the tops of each one so I can see what color's which at a quick glance instead of constantly guessing. Okay, and getting out my big box. What color? Whoa. Is this the one? No, this is not the one that had the all of them next to each other in a list. So I think black was here. Pretty sure white was next to the white. And yellow, I think, was up here. I don't remember. It's fine. It's close enough. This one doesn't have on the side what colors are where, so as long as they're in there, it should be fine. Oh. Okay, we're going to give this a few more seconds to dry. And then I want to put these brushes away. I'll put all but the round brush away because I need that for the signature. We've been going for about 2 hours, so not a bad live stream. I apologize that it's only 2 hours. Again, I have been exhausted and I'm trying to do everything right now. And it's just been getting a little overwhelming trying to do everything and its brother. So I'm getting there. I am getting there. Just not where I want to be yet. And then do I want the filbert brush for this or I'll do the flat brush. Is that one? That one's about the width I need. So I'm going to use a flat 13 to do the faux frame on once I'm ready to touch it and kind of maneuver it around. And I am going to use one of these big wells for the black because I need a lot of black. I might be pulling out of this container a couple times. I need to seal the black for my kids. That's the big tube. Really put a lot of black down. So I'm going to start with my signature. Oh, this is a little gunky. I don't like when it's gunky. So I'm just going to put my signature down here at the bottom. I have to remember to take a picture of this to post on my socials. Just that way people know that I'm not just doing art fairs. I am actually doing some real art as well. I haven't posted my artwork on my socials in a hot minute. I've just been making it. I think going to the next and not even thinking about anything else from that. That is a good look of my signature. Put this brush away. I don't know if I'm going to keep my hot glue gun upstairs or downstairs. Just because I know there's things that I have to hot glue every now and again downstairs. But at the same time, I don't like dealing with it. Organize these brushes correctly. I don't like dealing with it downstairs. It's hard to store and all that fun stuff. All right, so I'm going to slightly tilt it, and then I'm going to do the frame. Normally I would do this on my lap, just because it's easier to control where the canvas is touching. But I am trying to do it where you guys can see it. And I don't know if you guys can see it even if I'm doing it this way. So all my paintings, if you do buy one, you don't have to buy the frame itself because I faux frame it. Which essentially means that it has a black edging. So it looks like it's framed without having to buy a frame. It makes it a lot less. The other option that I could have done is taken the paint colors around the edge that I did. And just kind of continued the picture down. But I'm not a big fan of doing that. Mostly because I never think to and I don't want to deal with mixing color again. So I just go with a straight black. The other good one that you can do is like a straight white. Or a or like some color that matches. So like in this case I would probably do a green. Because there's a lot of green in this painting. Unfortunately, when framing, faux framing, it sometimes comes up over the edge. Not the most ideal situation. We make it work. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do this in my lap so that way I don't touch anything because it's really wet and I don't want my table or something else colored that shouldn't be colored. trying to pull this paint down. This is a little tricky. Part of the reason I decided to do it in my lap is the desk width is not wide enough to fully allow me to do the faux frame. No, it's currently drying with sealant. I was going to say, I may take the anniversary piece back out and do the faux frame while I'm at this. But I just remembered it just got sprayed with sealant, and I don't want to deal with the sealant getting tacky or not sitting correctly because I decided to paint the frame. I will do that a bit later. We'll do it the next time I get materials out to faux frame, which will be a while because I don't have a lot of 16 by 20s planned right now. I've kind of learned the hard way that 16 by 20s aren't that popular, especially with how much I'm charging for them. I charge at them starting at $60, and then with frame they're $110, which apparently is not cheap enough to sell. The other reason that I'm nervous about starting my own site is I don't know how to calculate shipping cost. Like, when I was looking at it, the 16 by 20s were almost $50 in shipping, which is absolutely insane. But they are the priority flat rates that I could do through USPS that are a little bit cheaper. I couldn't find one that would fit the big canvases, so I may just do flat rate shipping on all the other stuff, and then talk to me about how to ship the 16 by 20s that you want. That is pricey. I don't know how to put those prices up on my website yet. There is a way, once I actually sign up for the paid one, that I can put my portfolio on there, and then I can make a storefront with a ton of options for selling. As you guys can see, I have used quite a bit of this black. I don't think I'm going to need all of it because I'm almost done. I've got on the fourth side and I still have quite a bit. But as you can see, it did take quite a bit of black. I'm sure you guys are seeing how often I'm dipping here. Come on, get into those crevices. I don't need little white dots on my faux frame. I feel like my pants are getting black right now because I can feel it resting against my pants, which is making me nervous that my pants are becoming black. Almost done. Just got a little, like, 4 inches left. There we go. So the faux frame is already mostly dry on 2 of the sides, but there we go. That's what it looks like faux framed. I know you don't see much of a difference because you're looking at it from the front, but trust me, it looks a lot cleaner and a lot better with this frame. And I think we're good. I signed it. I finished the piggies. I don't want to do much with that hay bale. I'm tempted to do stuff with that hay bale, but I don't want to fuck it up. So I'm happy with it where the hay bale is. I'm happy with the mountains. I'm not happy with how they blended. I feel like I could have done better with kind of mixing the mountains. But the piggies turned out really, really nice. And so did the lantern. The wood also turned out pretty good. Oh, I was going to take a colored pencil to that. I don't have a colored pencil up here. So we will work on the rat pig thing, or this rat pig painting one more time. I'm going to bring up colored pencils next time with a dark brown. And we're going to add some wood grain onto that. I can't believe I forgot about the wood grain. But it's also been a hot minute since I worked on it. So, I think that's all I'm going to do for today. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I love you all. I appreciate you all. It has been a great time. We are at about 2 hours, 15 minutes, which isn't a terrible stream time. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. So I will see. I'm probably not going to stream Friday because I do have a painting drop off at 2 p.m., which would be right in the middle of what I'd be streaming. So I probably won't do Friday. I might do next Monday, depending on how exhausted I am from this weekend. And next Wednesday, do I have anything I think I'm free next Wednesday. Hang on. Yeah, next Wednesday I'm pretty much free. I may, keyword may stream Wednesday if I don't go to the art studio that's like 25 minutes away to show off my artwork that day and talk about me hosting a workshop. So we will talk about that. I will talk about that with them and see what I can do. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. You guys are great and amazing as always. I appreciate all the support and the peaks and all that good stuff. So I love you all. I appreciate you all. And I will see you next time. Bye!